It's Monday, August 25th. Let's level up. Dog days of summer, but we are starting to see crypto bend. And if crypto bends, that's often a tell for the stock market. It usually is a leader both up and down. I was impressed that the bulls were able to hold things together for the most part and basically held all the gains, except for toward the end of the day, we saw a little bit of a liquidation break, and that continued in the overnight. Shorter term, the bulls will need to hold 64.2675. If not, they're likely to see 63.72.5 to 63.87.5, maybe overshoot to 63.62.5. After that, it's 63.4625, and then it's a reset of the entire run. On the upside, if the bulls can get back up over 64.53 to 64.68.5, they'll likely see 64.96 to 65.0875. I'd feel better generally over the 64.68.5. Over that, I think a lot of the decline is arrested and the bulls can continue back to the upside. As far as the Qs go, they are kind of caught between two key levels, 23,587.5 to 23,671, and 23,404 to 23,465.75. If that can't hold, we could come down to 23,305.5. After that, it's a bigger decline to 23,035 to 23,076.75. On the upside, if they can clear the 23,671, I think we could make a run back up to 23,793.25 to 23,845. If the bulls can get over there, I think things are better to the upside, particularly 23,671 and 23,845. The decline so far has held the 200 MA 30-minute, but if that starts giving and resisting, that becomes problems. Remember, dips to the 200 MA 30-minute are usually buyable, but if it breaks and rally starts stalling there, a bigger pullback is imminent. As far as the VIX go, a bit of a dub step here. I don't really think the bears are going to sink their teeth in all that much until we can get over 1697. Anything below there to me is still a little bit iffy. We've made some probes into the 1724, but until that can really clear, I think it's just run-of-the-mill volatility. Potential pullback to wedge low is 1346, obviously not that far away from where we currently are. Maybe we make a dip into the 12s, but for that you're going to need to see the market reassert itself. If anything, we sort of have this falling wedge pattern, which could lead to higher volatility. The bears have tried to break it out, so far unsuccessfully, but given that we have a holiday shortened week coming up with Labor Day, anything could happen. As far as SPY goes, bulls handled themselves fairly well. We still have a look above and fail from Friday at 646.19. So bulls there need to clear 646.19. If they can't, we could see a liquidation break to 639.85, and then we'd see after that probably 637.07 or wherever the 20 MA is at the time. Today we were able to hold the 10 MA, so still not too bad. On the upside, if we were able to make a run back up, it would be 652.84, assuming we could clear 646.19. That would be the green channel high. As far as the Qs go, also a bit of a dubstep setup. I think if we can get over the 10 MA, which is right above us at 573.55, and then clear 574.63, it's back to the upside. On the downside, if the bulls can't hold today's low of day at 570.32, and we're already challenging that in the overnight, it's possible we see 567.5, 563.77, and maybe even a run down to the 50 MA and channel low at 585.18 and rising, which would probably be a good opportunity for a right or right out by the dip. As far as Bitcoin goes, we are back testing the prior breakout from the 108,960 to that 112,345 with the 110,150 right in there. So far that has held. If that can't hold, we'll likely pull back to the 2.618 of the decline at 105,329, and that would line up pretty well with the 100 MA, currently 106,006. For the bulls, I would need to see them get back up over and stay back up over 113,045. And then there's a lot of resistance at the 115,000, 115,635, and right where we stalled on the check back to the neckline at 117,610. Generally, when you see a complete negation of a move like we saw from Friday into Monday, that spells lower prices. That's why I'm sort of thinking we make the move to the 2.618. We are bouncing off the channel low in the overnight session, so it doesn't surprise me to see a little bit of that given the strength we have seen in Bitcoin, but we did have the look above and fail in Bitcoin, similar to like what we had in the SPY, although the SPY one was a smaller look above and fail, but a look above and fail nonetheless. So until those look above and fail scenarios correct themselves, I'm often flat or short. If Bitcoin is going to mount a rally, it really should be from right here. If not, we're probably going to see those 105,000s pretty quickly. Apple is conducting itself fairly well here. I think you can use 225 area as a stop. I'd probably be a buyer if there's a larger liquidation break, somewhere between 214.66 and 219.38. Remember, 214.66 to 215 had been a lot of prior resistance. My guess is that's now support. If you want to do a 1/2 put ratio playing for that, I'm good with that. I still think that this is going to have strength into the iPhone launch, and we'll probably see the 240s, maybe even 260s if the market rights itself. NVDA earnings are going to be the big deal on Wednesday. Obviously, if that is weak, we're probably going to see the beginning of the correction, and it'll seem obvious, of course, with Bitcoin having led the way. Generally, though, the bulls need to get over 183.30. If they can do that, channel high is up around the 200, 201 area. Told you, I think that the bulls are trying to bull for that. So if they have a benign report and it's good, we could see a pump up to there, and that could save the day. If not, on the downside, we could see 164.58 and maybe even a revisit of 153.13, which was the big breakout. If you want to do a 1/2 put ratio targeting the 133s to 143s, which was the last earnings zone, I'm good with that because that's likely going to be on deck if there is an earnings disappointment. Generally speaking, the markets are still up quite a bit. Bitcoin has had a bit of a stumble here. Often cryptos lead the way, so caution is warranted. If you're in positions, probably a good opportunity to use up opens or moves into targets or resistance as an opportunity to trim, maybe even put on some hedges. I don't know that the market's for sure rolling over here, but it could, so I like being cautious, particularly with our crypto as our North Star. Generally, this time of year tends to be a little bit weak. August, September, sometimes into October. I think a pullback actually would be welcome, maybe even a pump up in volatility so we could start selling some out of the money premium and then set ourselves up for a nice end of year rally. Like and follow for more.